Right now, everyone is pointing the finger. But now for the real question. Who is to blame for the fact that 1.6 million buyers lost all their money in just 24 hours? I'd like to help you understand this better. This was absolutely huge. About half of all crypto users are in this group. Just left. Wiped out. And this is what worries me the most. Will that many people who are probably still traumatized from what they went through even want to come back? Take a look. People actually stop being interested in crypto after this event, not more interested. That doesn't make sense, does it? Actually, hold on. When you look at the bigger picture, it does make sense. Most likely, they want to bring back small players right at the end of the cycle. But pay attention, there's still a long way to go, even though things are crazy here. Here it is. It's possible that the real numbers are much higher than what was reported. Binance only shows one order to liquidate every second. There are millions of buyers in this room. Things are getting worse. At first, they said that $19 billion had been cleared. But CoinBrew says that experts are saying that this bankruptcy event could be worth as much as $400 billion. Yes, you heard that right. Big num, not million. 400 billion yen. This is why. CoinGlass found that Binance's API blocking missed about 5% of the liquidations that happened during the crash. That would mean that the amount is 20 times bigger than the 19 billion that was first said. Now, don't get scared. Let me explain how leverage works, because I really do believe that 400 billion number. But here's the thing. Traders didn't really lose $400 billion. Take a look at this easy case. Let's say you have $100 in your account and use 10 times leverage to open a $1,000 trade. You will only lose the $100 you put into that position if it goes down. The other $900 was money from the swap. Yes, big numbers do make the news. But things aren't quite that intense in real life. It's likely that they lost more like $20 billion. To be honest, it might be more if you count altcoins that lost all of their value. Do you remember Terra Luna? Do you remember those coins that were in the top 10 or 20 but then disappeared? Imagine that happening to a lot more people. So Binance's co-founder says that people who lost money can ask for money back. They made up for the $283 million they lost when their tokens were taken off the peg on Friday. But let's be honest, that's not even close. They need to pay back billions, since that's how much money they made from this. When we bring up the truth, conversations start to change. This should be billions given back to people. I'm not kidding. In any other case, each of these transactions needs to be looked into. Richard Tang, CEO of Binance, says that the company will do better and learn from what happened. He tells everyone who was affected that he's truly sorry. But let me tell you the truth. He's not sorry. None of these talks say sorry. I will now tell you the reason why. This is what really happened. People like you and me were not able to use the exchange because it was locked down. Our whole group was shut out. But the insiders? Their accounts were fine to use. Think about this. Even though everything is falling apart and regular portfolios are being sold off all over the place, the insiders' accounts are still working like magic. It's convenient, right? It's not just Binance either. It was the same thing Coinbase did. Years have gone by with this trend. From the beginning. For some reason, exchanges shut down right before a flash crash. Each and every time. Their reason? The load is too much for our systems to handle. Do you mean what you say? They make a huge amount of money every year, but your computers can't handle it. Take a look at this. This isn't a problem for any normal agency. This doesn't happen on the stock market. The only market that doesn't have this problem is crypto. That needs to tell you something. Here's a test for you. Try to buy only $5 worth of crypto on your market the next time there's a flash crash. It will not let you. I promise. This only happens when prices are very low, like during a crash. Why? They do this so you don't buy cheap. In the meantime, their accounts are fine. That's the issue at hand. Things need to be fair for everyone. Each and every trade needs to be looked into. If they aren't looked into and justice isn't done, karma will catch up with them in the next crash. Since that will happen, every trade will also go down. Let's look at the proof now. Though we're specifically talking about Binance, all of them are really bad. This is something that Binance is more open about than Coinbase. How can we be sure of this? Look at BNB. Things are already back to how they were trading before the crash. And this is what really shows. They dump Bitcoin and Ethereum every night, but they slowly pump BNB. They are really leaving a trail of proof. But there is one good thing about all of this. Everything is on-chain. The blockchain keeps track of everything and is active 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Everything can be found and followed. They will be caught in 2 years if they aren't caught today. If not 2 years, then 5. If not 5, then 10. They will be caught in the end. There is no question about it. Why? Since it's on chain. Don't forget that. That ought to help you sleep better at night. Finally, CZ is trying very hard to fix the PR problem. But everyone who is paying attention knows that this market crash was caused by Binance. I really think that Binance, Wintermute, and all of these other platforms are working together. This most likely has roots in the big players like BlackRock. There it is, the smoking gun. While everything else lost all value, BNB is still worth the same amount as it did before the crash. Do you need more proof of who planned this? There's a lot of talk about whether this was all Binance's fault, so let's look at BNB. The graph shows everything. It is now the 4th biggest cryptocurrency in the world and is up 10% today. It's now higher than the October 10th pie we saw before the bankruptcy. The worst part is now here. This was caused by whales who sold short before the company went bankrupt. They knew it was going to happen. The timing of what seems to be a mistake between the US and China is really bad. That's what took place. Whales bought a lot of shorts. Trump talks about taxes. After that, BNB falls 30% in less than 30 minutes. All of a sudden, BNB rises above the high from October 10th before the crash. That's not even possible, right? This is something I've said for a while. This cycle, BNB is the only coin that will keep going up until it stops. The truth will come out one day. Why does this happen over and over? Because they sell other things they own, like Bitcoin and Ethereum, and put the money from that sale into BNB. On top of that, they cheat to get more cash. It's not just Crypto.com speaking out. Their CEO says that the exchanges that went out of business the most in the last 24 hours should be looked into by officials. By the way, I'm not saying Crypto.com is good either. There isn't anyone. For any exchange that slowed down or